Well, now turning our attention to Nepal. After Sushila Karki took charge as the interim Prime Minister of Nepal, sources told CNN News 18 that the interim cabinet is likely to be formed today and a commission will be established to investigate the violence that occurred during the deadly Gen Z protests this week. According to the information, the commission will be asked to submit an interim report on the violence, which escalated after police officers reportedly opened fire on protesters. An FIR will be lodged based on the findings of the report. The Banesar police have already received a complaint against former Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli, who was ousted, remember, during the Gen Z protests for allegedly ordering the police to open fire on protesters. Now, the complaint was lodged by a Nepali lawmaker. Listen into these reactions.
हिमालय की गोद में बसा नेपाल भारत का एक मित्र है, करीबी दोस्त है। हम साझा इतिहास से जुड़े हैं, आस्था से जुड़े हैं, साथ मिलकर आगे बढ़ रहे हैं। मैं आज नेपाल में अंतरिम सरकार की प्रधानमंत्री के रूप में पदभार संभालने पर 140 करोड़ भारतवासियों की तरफ से श्रीमती सुशीला जी को हार्दिक बधाई देता हूं। मुझे विश्वास है कि वे नेपाल में शांति, स्थिरता और समृद्धि का मार्ग प्रशस्त करेगी। नेपाल की पहली महिला प्रधानमंत्री के रूप में सुशीला जी का आना महिला सशक्तिकरण का वह बहुत उत्तम उदाहरण है। मैं आज नेपाल में ऐसे हर एक व्यक्ति की सराहना करूंगा जिसने ऐसे अस्थिरता भरे माहौल में भी लोकतांत्रिक मूल्यों को सर्वोपरि रखा।
अभी जो पुराना नेता ने जो नहीं कर पाए, आशा है अभी जो नया प्राइम मिनिस्टर बना है वो तो सर्वोच्च अदालत का सर्वोच्च न्यायाधीश भी रह चुके हैं। हम आशा करते हैं कुछ बड़ा होगा, नया होगा। युवा पुस्ता ने जो कदम चाला है उससे तो होना ही है ना। नेपाल छोटा सा कंट्री है, तो होगा तो भ्रष्टाचार नहीं होगा, करप्शन नहीं होगा, तो नेपाल बनने में तो ज्यादा समय नहीं लगेगा।
बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है जब हम लोग आ नहीं सके, इंडिया अपना घर आ रहे हैं, यही बहुत बढ़िया बात है। इधर में आ गया, अभी शांति मिल गया, अपना देश पहुंच गया, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है। हेल्प बहुत मिला हम लोग का, सरकार का कोई दिक्कत नहीं हुआ, आराम से हम लोग पहुंच जा रहा है। हम लोग माहौल तो 3 दिन से बहुत खराब था, अभी सही है, अभी मोटा मोटी सही है, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है। हम लोग ऐसे रूमी में थे, कोई हम लोग के ऊपर कोई टॉर्चर नहीं हुआ।
मैं समझता हूँ हमारे वतन को इसके बारे में खामोशी अख्तियार करनी चाहिए। वो उनका वतन है, मुझे उम्मीद है वो उसको वो ठीक करेंगे खुद ही। अगर हमने उसमें किसी भी तरह से दरअंदाजी की तो वो समझेंगे कि हिंदुस्तान इसमें जिम्मेवार है, जैसे बांग्लादेश का हुआ, और वो संभल गया।
How difficult the journey is going to be here onwards?
First thing, everybody knows how the protest started. So the if you look at the whole protest, so the Gen Z protest kind of ended at the parliament. So the vandalization process kind of was infiltrated with, we can call it, few interest group. So Gen Z never intended to vandalize parliament. Gen Z never intended to burn the government offices.
Correct.
So that was, to bring revolution is one thing, to build is another thing. So the Gen Z never wanted to, burn down the government offices. But throughout the process, it's not always in your hand because it was overwhelmed. Even the Gen Z protesters didn't imagine this turnout at the end. So the vandalization part was from few interest group. There were people waiting, with some interest. But after that, so the core Gen Z demand was, to call out, to question few leaders who were kind of playing musical chair
Got it.
Since because I was young, since my father was young.
Devas, Prachandas, Olis.
Prachandas, Olis. So the race was mainly against these few people. Second was corruption. So third thing was kind of everybody knows we need change. Everybody knows we need change. But the major political parties, they were not kind of able to bring change within themselves, within the party, and within the nation itself.
This used to be Ministry of Health's office in Kathmandu, and in fact you can see this office was also targeted and ransacked by the rioters the other day. The vehicles which were parked here were torched, were set ablaze by the rioters. Now this building is completely destroyed, and like this there are many buildings in this particular lane where I'm reporting from, which were targeted by the rioters on the second day of the protest. Now the challenge for the new interim Prime Minister would also be to rebuild Kathmandu, to rebuild Nepal, as many buildings like Ministry of Health, where I am reporting from, has completely been destroyed. So the government staff, the government officials don't have offices to sit. So it's definitely going to be very challenging for the new Prime Minister to rebuild Kathmandu, to restore buildings, to rebuild the government buildings, and perhaps it's going to come at a huge cost. We are reporting from top of the footover bridge in Maitigarh area of Kathmandu, and you can see the normalcy has restored in Kathmandu. We could see buses, four-wheelers, two-wheelers on the roads, and in fact people are roaming freely. There is no restriction, very little army presence on the street today, as yesterday in a brief ceremony Sushila Karki was sworn in as the interim Prime Minister of Nepal, after which today, since morning, there is proper vehicular movement on the roads. In fact, some of the offices have also opened up. The shops are opening up, and slowly and steadily Nepal is moving towards permanent normalcy. Perhaps this is the place which was targeted by the rioters on the second day of the protest. In fact, every second building on this lane was ransacked, was targeted, was set ablaze. There is this Ministry of Health office, traffic headquarters, Singha Darbar, Supreme Court. This lane, on both sides of this lane, there used to be the government buildings, and all those buildings were targeted. But now the cleaning work, the restoration work has begun. The JCB machines are working all across Kathmandu. The debris is being cleaned. The Wi-Fi services will start soon in some areas. The Wi-Fi cables were also targeted. The electricity restoration, etc. All those works are being done. So the challenge for the new interim Prime Minister would be to make sure that law and order remains intact. Also to make sure that these buildings get reconstructed, or the government officials get new place to sit, because so far the government officials don't have place to sit in Kathmandu, as most of the buildings have already been destroyed, and also to meet the expectations of the Gen Z protesters. With video journalist Ravi Ranjan, Siddhant Mishra in Kathmandu for CNN News 18.